figured, well, I'm up, might as well do something to keep myself a little busy. So I thought I'd talk about a show that's recently made a return to television in English. And it's a show that I talked about a lot when it came to the new lineup for this TV, the Cookie Jar lineup, or the This Is For Kids deal. And that's Sonic Underground. Owned, as you can see in the picture. Now, the reason I want to talk about Sonic Underground is because I guess you can call this, well, it's an unusual thing to be called, but let's call it a very balanced out rant, if you will. Sort of a positive, looking at the positives. Let's just call it a positive rant, looking at the positives. I know that's kind of unusual for a rant or something like that, but we're looking at the positives here. I mean, rewatching the episodes and everything, honestly, rewatching and recording them for the first time onto DVD, even though I have DVDs, I look at Sonic Underground and I say to myself, that this show has a lot of potential. I mean, yes, I know some of the things that people talked about, some of the things people complained about was the singing. Ratsitsu, Danielle, even said in her retrospective about a year ago or so, that, or earlier this year or something like that, she felt as though, the music videos were unnecessary during the middle of the episode. At the end, yes, that's understandable, but not in the middle of the show. Not at the beginning, not in the middle, not towards the end, but at the very end. And I can understand and respect that. But when I look at it in a way, when I think about it, and when you think about it, just by looking at it now, because now we're a lot more older and wiser, if you will. Looking at it now, I think what the people at Sega were trying to do was trying to make Sonic as they originally were going to make him. GameSpot or something like that has a video some kind of a 15-minute, 20-minute video on the history of Sonic they did about a year or two ago, and you can find that here on YouTube. Excuse me. And one of the things that the creators in Japan originally had for Sonic was he was in a rock band. Well, apparently when they brought him over here to the United States, they took that out. So I think that's what, honestly, in my opinion, looking at it from a positive perspective and giving it a chance, that's what the writers, like the late Ben Hurst, God bless his soul, Len Jensen, Pat Lee, and whoever else worked on the show, Mike Polito, Robbie London, they probably thought to themselves, well, this might be the last Sonic cartoon we do, so why not just go all out with it and do things with this character that originally we could not do, or that originally could not be done in the video game aspects, and they did not do, of course, in Sat AM. Except, there was an episode, I think it was Sonic, Past, no, it was not. It was Subsonic, that's what it was, Subsonic. I think that's what it was. Where Sonic is playing a guitar at the beginning of the episode, around the beginning of the episode. So, that's why I think, we had the inclusion of the music videos and the band and all that, because it was sort of like, again, I think the people that worked on the series looked at it like, well, if this is going to be the last series we do here at Dick Entertainment, we might as well go all out with it, and that's exactly what they did. They went all out with the series and said, we're gonna do what they couldn't do with him in the games, and they probably got the okay from Sega to do it and from Sega of America to do it, seeing as though it could have been the last one, and that's exactly why they did what they did with the music videos and stuff. Again, like I said, I can understand and respect people's opinions about the fact that, the music videos should have been saved for like towards the end and everything, but I truly believe that the Sonic Underground music, singing during the Sonic Underground singing, Sonic and the siblings, basically singing in the middle, at the beginning, and towards the end, was basically based on the original idea of Sonic being in the rock band when he was being developed back in the early '90s. That's the way I look at it. Excuse me. Now, um, the other things I want to look at here in this kind of positive rant is the characters themselves. Well, first of all, let's take a look at some of the supporting characters and what role they could have played had the series continued. One character that sticks out to me is Mindy Latour. Now, in case you don't know who Mindy Latour is, she is one of Sonya's best friends, and she appeared in the episode "The Price of Freedom," and her and her father go on to be part of the resistance towards the end. Anyway, what I look at here is there's so much potential this character could have had, and I believe with the rumors right now, and I think that's all they are right now, but you never know anymore. But with the rumors that Dick Entertainment / Cookie Jar Entertainment and Sega are working on possibly bringing the series back for the last 25 episodes. These are just rumors. Remember. But if these were to be true, then I truly believe that this is a supporting character that they could bring back in a big role, or to play a major role in those final episodes. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Excuse me. Again, I truly believe that they could have used a character like that, as a major role. I mean, take a look at a character they used in several episodes after his debut in Tangled Webs, which was aired yesterday morning. He was basically in some other episodes, I think 1 or 2 or 3 episodes. I think he was in the debutante ball episode, I think, and a few others, where he kind of helps him out, sort of like the Uncle Chuck of the group, even though he's the same age as they are, and that's Cyrus. His role was not really expanded on much, but he was still a part of the show. So my guess. So again, this is just my opinion. I believe a character like Mindy could really play a major role if the rumors, like I mentioned earlier, are true. But even if they aren't, she still could have played a major role. Another thing that I look at, another positive thing I look at the show is the fact that it wasn't really all ha ha funny and all that. It was more. When you think about it, it was just as serious, if not sometimes a little bit more serious, and at times maybe a bit darker than SatAM. I know that's stretching it. Many of you might say that's stretching it, but honest truth is, if you take a look at how some of the take a look at the pilot, for goodness sakes, beginnings. Take a look at that, and then take a look at some of the episodes later on, and you could tell that it was on the same wavelength as SatAM when it came to maturity and dark tones and drama at times. But sometimes, honestly, I think they kind of took it a step further a little bit. To be honest. I mean, they did take it a step further. And when you think about it, some of you might say, well, it wasn't as dark and mature as you. Well, look at some of the episodes. Look at some of them. Okay? Oh, sorry about that. I hit the microphone. But again, look at some of the episodes. Look at some of them. Can't even think of the episode right now. But there's this episode where where Sonic and Manic have to go find a cure for this pendant that's causing Sonya to disappear. And you can see the concern and even fear on Sonya and Manic's face. And that's something they never did in Sat AM. They never had a character, a main character, in a position to where they could end up disappearing. They never had that. They never had that. When you think about it, they never had something like that. Nor did they have characters. Well, they did have the characters, but anyway, they never had any. Not that I can remember. They never had an episode like that. Never did. Never did. And again, I can't think of all the other episodes, but there are some episodes that I know of that show that. That definitely show that. And the other thing that makes it more mature, puts it on that same, well, actually puts it on that same wavelength of maturity and dark tone and drama and all that, is the fact that they made Sonic and his siblings a little bit more vulnerable than they made the characters in Sat AM. Now, I know you're thinking, well, wait a minute, they made the characters in Sat AM vulnerable. Yeah, they did, but let's take it this way. Let's take a look at it this way. Count how many times Sonic and his siblings were always put in situations to where they had their backs against the wall and they had to come back and they basically fought the way out. You didn't see that many times in Sat AM. Well, yeah, you did, but not as much as you did in Sonic Underground. And that was the biggest difference right there. Here's another thing as well. Here's another thing. One thing you never saw in Sat AM that Underground did do is you never saw somebody that, in a way, had an alliance with Robotnik. And then in one episode, have to disappear for a while. Basically go off someplace else and start a new life. You never saw that, right? And the character I'm talking about is Bartleby. Yeah, he started out as, somewhat aligned with Robotnik, but he was kind of, when you take a look at a character that if you really want to kind of play devil's advocate, if you will, and was stuck in the middle of, I want to serve Robotnik, but I don't want to let the person I care about the most down, or I don't want to hurt her the most, what do? So, you take a look at a character like Bartleby, and he's completely different. He's completely different than any other character, because at first he starts out snooty and thinking he's better at times, but as the series goes on, he mellows out, and that was one of the positiveness about it. He actually ended up becoming part of the Resistance. We just never saw him again, and just like with that Mindy Latour character, if he had been brought back, he could have really played a major role. He really could have played a major role. There's just a lot of things. If you rewatch the series now, now that, like I said, now that we're older and more wiser, you'll notice that there's a lot of things similar to Sat AM in many ways. You'll notice that the tone is just as dark, if not a bit darker, and you notice a bit more dramatic, or just as dramatic, if not a bit more. But yes, it does retain its humor. It does have that comedic humor in it that Sat AM kind of lacked at times. Until the second season, though, but it kind of has that comedic humor in there. It does. It still retains that, and that's good. But there's so many positive things about the series that you just gotta look at. When you think about it, this is one series that, if been given the chance, really could have been something. And I'll talk about that more when I come back.